everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tiffany Benson, one part of Team Benson, and I am out here so early in the morning because I'm so excited to show you guys something that's finally finished in my garden. And then I'm also going to do a garden tour today so you can see kind of what I got going on in here. So my garden doesn't have a lot right now going on. There's a couple things that I'm going to show you guys, and there's also a couple things that are starting to grow back that I'm kind of excited about. But right now we're working on finishing some of the structures in the garden to kind of get the garden the way that we want it to look for the fall and moving forward, you know, just for the rest of forever. So I'm going to start by showing you guys my black eyed peas because right now they are the pride and joy of my garden. So right now these are my black eyed peas. Look at, they're so nice, guys, and they're starting to get little buds, little flower buds on them. So I'm hoping that they're gonna get some pea pods pretty soon. I have a little bit of mixture of hard water and a little bit of sun skull on some of them, but they've been living underneath my 40% shade cloth, and then also I have a umbrella that I put up in the really hot part of the day. So they're doing really well. For those of you guys that asked me about shade cloth, I am only able to find it on Amazon right now, and it took forever for me to get. So I'll link the one that I found. Like I said, it took forever for me to get that one. Shade cloth is something that right now it's hard to find, but they're doing really well, and I'm super excited about my black eyed peas. Now over here I have my shishito peppers. There's one here and there's one there. As you guys can see, I totally lost the parsley. The parsley met the sun. But the shishito peppers and the eggplants, which is one there, and then my oldest one is right here, are all doing really well, and they're growing nice and big, and they're going to be ready for the fall come when it's time for me to get some peppers and eggplants. So those shishito peppers and eggplants I have been pruning back so that they produce a lot during the fall. I want to make sure that they are producing a lot and they're healthy and they're good to go, so I've been pruning them back while it's summer and I know that they're not going to be producing because it's too hot. So a couple of herbs, I have lettuce leaf basil. That one was the one that got eaten, and these ones I put a cup over it in order to kind of protect them at night, and so now they're starting to fill in. And then the other herb I have going on right now is my rosemary. Rosemary does amazing in the Arizona summer. It does amazing here all year round. I've had this plant going on 1.5 years now, so I'm just going to continue to use it. I pruned back a whole bunch of it so that I had some to dry, and I'm just going to let it grow back out and then prune it back down too as well. My beans are doing really good. I had a lot of hard water damage on some of those ones, but they're starting to get a little bit taller. These ones are the Chinese red long noodle beans, so I'm excited for these to kind of grow up, and they're just growing really slow here in the summer. And then also I had one red bell pepper that survived. Out of the 3 that I had, only one survived without getting eaten by everything. One thing I would like to point out is that when you have something going in the summer, it's gonna grow a lot slower, guys. So don't expect for it to grow like super fast, because the heat will kind of make the growth slow down a lot. It'll grow, but it'll grow a lot slower depending on what it is that you have. So one of the other things that was the only one to survive is my little Armenian cucumber over here. This one is a start that is growing pretty slowly. It does have a sick leaf. That one had leaf miners. To get rid of the leaf miners, you just squish the leaves and that'll get rid of them. But I'm just going to actually take that leaf off now that it's grown some more leaves. So the other thing I have going right now, my poblano peppers are getting taller and bigger. And then also I have my cherry tomato that is starting to blush all of its tomatoes that it has on it. So that's pretty exciting. We're gonna have those for dinner in a couple of days. I'm being careful not to reveal the big surprise to you guys right now, but right now my garden is when I'm like, oh, there's just a couple of things out here, mostly just my rosemary and my basil that I actually use, maybe some tomatoes. But in a couple of weeks, guys, we are gonna have fall. We're gonna plan everything for fall, and it's going to be the start of an amazing growing season that's going to last all the way until about June of 2021. So for all of you Arizonans that are just like, I hate everything about this Arizona sun, you guys are so close to fall. So keep what you got going on in your garden. If you have a couple of starts, I suggest starting them inside because they're going to be a lot healthier and a lot bigger once you get them out here. But the starts that you have outside, make sure they have some shade cloth, just take care of them, and they'll slowly grow. They might get attacked by a couple little bugs, but like I said, let them grow out, pick off the leaves that are attacked, and just continue to get them growing, give them some worm tea, give them some fish fertilizer, and you're going to be happy that you did that, because you'll have stuff in the beginning of the fall. You also have stuff all fall long, and then you'll have those in fall crops that will go all winter long too as well, because down here in the valley we're not going to see our first frost until about December, so maybe December, January. So you want to make sure that you get all of that good stuff in there so that you have a flourishing garden. So over here I have one midget cantaloupe that is left. The other one got eaten by the bunny or the desert rat, I have no clue, but this one I took and put a little cup over it too as well, and it has allowed it to grow up a little bit. I pruned off some of the bottom leaves because they were a little infected, but this one is starting to grow actually quicker than some of the other ones. So one thing I'm really excited about, guys, is that my spearmint was completely dead, and I just put some shade cloth on it and kept watering it, and now it's growing back. So I'm going to get in here and get all of these dead leaves and dead stems from by it, but I'm excited because I love spearmint. So for those of you that have mint in your garden that might have died back because of the sun, mint will grow back, and it'll grow back like wildflowers. This is why everybody always says make sure you put mint in a place where it's not going to hog everything else, because mint is definitely a hog, and for some reason it'll look completely dead and then it'll grow back and take over everything. So I suggest putting mint in a pot, and that's where I grow my mint, and I pretty much, once I grow it in there, it's committed to being in there. So even when there's something dead, unless you take out all the dirt and plan on repotting something else in there in its place, just leave it, just look at it while it's dried up and dead looking, and then just water it and make sure it has some shade during the summer, and it'll grow back for you. The other thing I would like to mention is that even though I don't have a lot going on in my garden right now, all of the blank spaces, I've added compost that I'm letting kind of sit so that it's prepared for when I plant out some of my stuff that's inside that's being started. With that compost, I've added some worm castings, and then I also have added a lot of fish fertilizer, and then just some eggshell fertilizer that, if you guys have watched some of my past videos, you'll see that I make a fertilizer out of eggshells and bananas. I've added that into my garden too as well. I've buried some of the eggshells down in there because that's going to give the worms something to eat, and it's also going to let the worms eat it and then produce castings in my garden, so that then my garden beds are seriously healthy by the time the fall comes. Don't forget to water your garden beds. If there's nothing in there, Arizonans, this is not your time to take a break and just go in the house and let the sun just bake your soil. That's something you don't want. So you don't want to kill all of those living things that you have created in your soil. You have to remember that there are worms, there's fungi, there are other living things in your soil, and you have taken this entire time to grow healthy soil, guys. So make sure that you are continuing to water it so that you can continue that life cycle and that an ecosystem environment for those insects and fungi and bacteria, so that come the fall, you have a soil that is amazing. Just a reminder, you grow the soil and the soil grows you all your yummy vegetables. Alright guys, well now it's time for the big reveal. I'm so excited. One of the things that we have been focusing on since we didn't have a lot going on in our garden right now, because we were planning on being on vacation for our honeymoon, which has gotten canceled, which is okay, because I'd rather we be safe than to be sick on a honeymoon. But we have been working on the structure of our garden. We are a little bit different people where we like things to be very structural. If you guys go inside of our house, it is kind of like a little castle is what we like to call it. But we love the structure, we love the design, and we love the creativity that things bring. So I have been waiting for Mr. Benson to finish my structure forever, and he has finished the part that is in the garden beds. So let me just stop talking and show it to you guys. Alright guys, so this is it. I'm so excited about it. We actually have these pillars that are nice and sturdy and strong. These are gonna hold shade cloth when it's really hot outside, when I don't have things growing up them. And during the fall, the plan is to, as you guys saw that I grow in these cinder blocks, I'm gonna grow some runner beans or some Malabar spinach up each one of these. And then on this side, I'm gonna grow a pot of roses is what I plan. But it's so pretty, it's finished, and I also have my hanging candle holders from them. As you can see, we tested it out last night, so we had our tea light candles in them. But I'm so excited. I think it's gonna be beautiful having the arches with things growing on them for the fall, and then also having the structures with things growing on them for the fall too as well. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. So that's all I've got for you guys today. I'm so excited that we are going to have these structures in place because I think it's going to add so much beauty to my garden when things are growing up them. I grow a lot of Kentucky Wonder beans, and I wanted to add more real estate for my beans too as well, so that we can get more beans, because if you guys saw my last video, green beans are not on the shelf anymore for canned vegetables. So I want to make sure we have enough this fall, and having just that extra little bit of space that you can just create by using some pieces of wood and some nails will give you much more real estate for your garden, and you can start growing a lot more things. So until next time, grow yourself a garden, because even a small space can provide you with tons of food. Bye guys.